Hey everybody, Mark Greenwald here. I wanted to tell you about a new project I just got finished with. It's the creation of a new desk. I needed a new desk. Actually, what happened is back up in this corner, I had some water pipe leak damage and it fell down on my computer that was back in that corner. So I decided to move it over to this corner. So here's where it is now. I got some pictures up on the wall, some of my concert photography, blah blah blah. But this is the new desk. And this is what I modeled it after. It's a company called output.com. This is a website. And this is the platform desk. Loved it. Price was actually pretty reasonable to buy it. However, it had a 14 to 16 week ship time. And then I wanted the different color, which I did like a gray. And that was an extra $100. The keyboard tray was extra 150. Shipping was 100 and tax was about 100. So when it came down to it, I decided to build my own. And luckily, I found online some YouTube videos of some people that did it and did the step-by-step a lot better than I did. But this guy here, Extra Life, if you want to look him up, he built one. And this guy did a little bit of a different take on it, Richard Desaria. So if you watch those, you can build this desk. So anyhow, I had a fun time doing it. It took a lot longer than it should have, but I learned a lot while doing it. Used a router for the first time. But here's my step-by-step process if you want to see how it all came together. So here is the start of the desk. This is the actual desk surface. And I'm building it up on the edges to make it look thicker, but not going to do double sheets. This is 3/4 inch oak plywood. And then there's the two pieces that were cut for the sides, courtesy cut by Home Depot. And then here is the Modesty board, is the tall one. Short one is going to be the legs. And I've already glued two 3/4 inch pieces together there for that. Ironically, I've already made a 1/2 inch mistake on the length, so it's a little short. So I'm going to have to add a little corner onto that at some point. Then over here you'll see all the scrap from what I did. So I'm thinking about making the top just two separate two 19-inch rack on the left and on the right, and then leaving the middle either open or maybe just a little bit of a less raised platform. But anyhow, there you see step one, just getting it all cut and glued. Alright, so what we're doing today is a little bit of circular saw cutting. I got a couple sheets here. This sheet's been glued, two sheets glued together. I'm using this nice little digital meter to get my angles as precise as possible. And then I'm clamping it down. I made this guide so that I could run the skill saw quickly, easily, and not have to look at the line so much. Using some clamps there to hold it down so that it doesn't move on me. Over here's the underside of the desk all glued together now, so I got the edges on it so that it looks the thickness, but it's not as heavy because it's not the whole way through. A little bit of wood glue, a little bit of clamps. And these two pieces are the sides. They're cut and they're ready for staining, so staining will be the next step, I guess. That's a little update of where we are today. Okay, so there was one last step before I started painting, was that I had to do some routering, and for this part of it, it needed to be about 1/4 inch deep, and the instructions said 7/8 deep, but I found that 6/8 seemed to work really well, so here's kind of what it ended up doing. So if that's the tabletop, I felt like that worked a whole lot better for me, but I might be surprised here at the end and find out that's what I should have done, but 6/8 is what I did it. And there's the router I used. Took me a couple passes with it. This is the first time I've ever used a router. First time for everything, and today was the day for a router. Alright, here we are at the staining part. I've opted for a pretty cool gray stain. I got all the holes cut there. Made some mistakes. There's a fun little mistake. And so I got that a little ripped up. But I think that's what's going to give it character. There's the stain I'm using. Poly plus stain. I wasn't completely happy with the way the gray came out, so I decided to add kind of a Les Paul sunburst look to it by spray painting the black edges on it. Now I think I like it a lot. So here's the table coming together. Decided to just do the sides. Yeah, the table kind of ended up looking just a little splotchy to me, so I decided to add that sunburst look. Looks really good on these legs, I think. This was my final step of the painting process, was putting the varnish on, or actually lacquer. Best clear lacquer spray, and I made it gloss. I don't know if you can see the gloss here if I get it the right angle, but it's good and shiny. There you go. And that piece is all done. Here's the legs. They're all ready to go to the next step. There's the privacy, or what do they call it? Privacy board in front. Here's the two sides. So, looking good. Looking ready to make a desk. Making a little bit of progress here, almost getting there. I got to put the keyboard tray on yet, but I got the racks here. Got the rails mounted on each side. Little cable holes for cable management. It's pretty big in this room. This thing got huge. I added a kind of cool plug strip down here. It's got 10 receptacles in it, so that should make things a little bit easier. And here we go. So there's the computer now. It's all got to move over here. I'm working on the keyboard pull-out tray. So I got the brackets there. I'm about ready to screw on. There's the rails. Get the rail screwed onto the side of that. I really struggled with how much room I should have. It ended up being 4.5 inches is what I needed for the one keyboard that I'm going to be putting on this thing. So next is to get this all together and screw it up under the desk. And at this point, I feel like it's all put together. I got a few little tweaks I'm going to make, but the keyboard pull out is functioning and worked out to be just the right size to get the keyboard to fit in there. It slides out nice and smooth. So I guess you'd say we're ready for moving that monstrosity to that monstrosity. Check back in when that's done. And here we go. This is my final product of my desk that I put together for my workstation. Keyboard tray pulls out. Works really good. Studio's up and running. Here's a song I wrote years and years and years ago. Working on it. Some pictures on the wall, a little Rob Halford. Picture I painted in junior high school. Lizzie Hale. Tommy Shaw, that's some concert photography I took. Kiss album by Ken Kelly, I got signed. Little Lady Death action. Drums are set up, ready to go. Accordion's there when I need it. Couple harmonicas. Down here's the violin, the sax, and the lap steel guitar. All kinds of fun stuff. There's the bass. There's my Marshall amp. Ready to put some guitar through. And of course out there's the piano and the other guitars. Time to get busy. 2021, here we come.